Recently, I had another dream that you appeared in.
Awesome.
I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it.
Straight from Matt's Dream Journal.
I am visited at 4 a.m. by Craig and composer Paul Williams, who you might remember from when we watched Phantom of the Paradise, episode 75.
And he also wrote the music for Ishtar.
We are sitting and hanging out, and I ask, so are you guys up early or up late? Up early, says Craig. With a world-weary sigh, Paul Williams responds, I'm just trying to keep up with theater, man. Craig is very amused by this and laughs at it for much longer than would be expected. Then they both leave.
That wasn't a dream, Matt. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. Paul and I were just in the neighborhood. We were waking up early to get to a 5 a.m. yoga class, and we set the clocks wrong.
What does 4 a.m. mean?
4 a.m.? In Camus the Plague, there's a town that's quarantined because the bubonic plague is in town. And there's a journalist from Paris who is stuck in the city, and he would wake up at 4 o'clock every morning because he knew at that hour, even if his wife was unfaithful to him, by that time she would be asleep and essentially alone.
I haven't read that book, though.
It's one of my favorites.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement.
Happy birthday, Matt!
Hey, it's my birthday in just 6 short days, and I asked Craig to give me the gift of a movie. Now, what about this movie do you think I'll like?
Well, I know that you like cats. Now, if 1 cat's good, 2 cats is twice as good. Well, how about over 100 cats?
Might be diminishing returns at that point, but who knows?
And I know you don't like animal cruelty, and from what I understand, there is no animal cruelty in this movie, unless you count human beings as animals. And I know you like movies that are crazy, and this movie is absolutely bonkers. I know you're a champion, and you're gonna watch the movie Roar. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know the movie.
No, I don't.
Oh, that makes me that much happier.
No animals were harmed in the making of this film. 70 cast and crew members were.
Released in 1981, Roar stars director Noel Marshall. It was his first time directing, and his last time directing. He acts alongside his wife, Tippi Hedren.
Oh yeah, the Ice Queen.
Yes, and their entire family, including a young Melanie Griffith. And also, lions. Dozens of lions. And some tigers and other jungle cats and a couple of elephants. There is no exaggerating the insanity of this movie's production. Fitzcarraldo, Apocalypse Now, every movie Terry Gilliam's ever done, it's got nothing on Roar in which nearly everyone in the cast and crew nearly died. Including cinematographer Jan de Bont, who was nearly scalped by one of the stars of the movie. He lived and went on to direct a much less nerve-wracking movie called Speed.
I'm ready to see those little kitty cats play around and have fun.
Run for your lives over the big leather couch to watch the crazy comedy? Thriller? I don't know what this movie's gonna be. Roar.
Feel the power of the lion when he roars like thunder.
A lot of traffic today on the 409. We have a lot of wildebeests kind of coming through. Oh, there's a lion issue. Get this.
Hank is in Africa doing some research.
He cures the local people when they get hurt, and then he goes and hangs out with the things that probably hurt them.
He is surrounded by giant bloodthirsty jungle cats, including Robbie, Little Gary, and the blood-drenched Togar.
I can has human cheeseburger.
He's brought them in from all over Africa, and even brought in a few tigers from Asia.
Robbie and Togar are sort of these 2 alpha cats that are fighting for status.
His friend Mativa stops by, obviously for the first time, and notices that this place is kind of weird, because, of course, he's being attacked by jungle cats. Just let the Wookiee win.
But Hank is excited because his wife and 3 children are coming to visit from the States. The key part of Hank's research is that he's going to live among these lions and tigers and be accepted as one of the herd. Herd? They're packs. Are they packs? Pride.
The closer you get to them, the more they'd like you, the safer you'd be. The cat's got a little excited.
Holy shit. My God.
The committee's stopping by to discuss this whole cat issue. He explains to the committee that humans are pushing all the cats off their land, and until that's figured out, he's going to invite the cats onto his own. He's raised a lot of these from pups, or cubs, or kittens, whatever they're called.
There's a guy among them, I believe his name is Prentice, and he's a bad man. He wants to shoot the tigers and the lions and all the cats because they're dangerous.
We have to kill them. That's what we do.
Hank says, these cats aren't dangerous. Just then, the animals attack. There's chaos. Humans are running around.
Togar! Togar!
No, not Togar! Get away from Togar!
Oh!
There's real blood. They try to escape by boat, but that won't work when there's tigers about.
Guys, I don't know if you noticed this. A whole bunch of humans are in these kind of sushi dishes that are floating over here.
Richard Parker, no! The tigers sink the boat. That was great!
So a couple of the guys get a little bit mauled.
Whoa!
He hears the screams of the committee, and he's like, I gotta go. And he's like, hey, because that's all you have to do. If you ever get an encounter with a cat, just, hey.
Everybody just gets out of there barely with their lives.
Oh, what the hell's wrong with you? All you got's a few scratches. You're lucky Togar didn't get you.
So the committee leaves, and they're a little upset.
Alice, there's no milk.
What, now is he gonna milk a lion? Is that what we're gonna see next? That horror show?
Well, hello, Gary. Whoa! Why didn't you go with your friend?
Stop stepping on my line, Gary.
These stupid lions are frightening me.
That guy should get a t-shirt that says, these stupid lions are frightening me. And just wear it all the time. Meanwhile, Hank's family has just arrived in Africa. John, Jerry, Melanie, and Mom. They don't know what to do, so they get on a bus that's going to take them to his house.
How could you be away from Dad for so long?
You know that your father and I were having problems, and we thought it would be better to be apart for a while. You know, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
The heart, maybe, but what about the sex glands?
Yeah, she's about at that age. What the family doesn't know is that Hank has just left to go pick them up at the airport, so they're kind of passing each other along the way. But those tigers, they sink another boat. We're tigers. We sink boats. It's what we do.
Don't swim, they'll get you.
Don't walk, they'll get you. Don't run, they'll get you. Don't stand still, they'll get you. Mom and the kids arrive at the house, and they are greeted by mayhem. Things seem okay at first.
This is really a nice place.
It reeks of all the shit in Africa, but it's nice.
Hank?
The bird came at her.
I get it.
Is that a tarantula?
You simple-minded jerk-off!
Simple-minded. Really throwing down the heavy language. Next she's gonna call him a turkey.
Then they find out about Hank's roommates.
Oh, God, look what the cat dragged in.
They get chased. A lot.
They are crawling into various cupboards and cabinets and lockers and the refrigerator. You can't go in the fridge, dummy. What do you think you are, Indiana Jones?
So everyone is trapped in their own little doom closets.
I could smell you, meatball. Just then, Togar charges into the house.
He's the only one not given a Western-style name, meaning that he's the villain.
He's crashing through walls. He's knocking down doors. This family is done for. Robbie, Togar's rival, comes into the house and he drives him off. The family is safe. Or are they? No, they're not. They're never safe. With their boat scuttled, they borrow some bikes from a local village and continue their way to the airport.
Mativa gets treed on his own volition.
Hey, I got an idea for you.
We just like throw rattlesnakes at each other. Meanwhile, in the death house...
Why did you bring us here? We're just gonna die!
No, we are not going to die.
Jerry might die, but we're going to be fine.
Now he knew we were coming!
This isn't a scene in the movie. This is like an actor's meeting. Hank goes to the airport. He says, hey, have you seen my family? The guy says, yeah, I saw him take a bus. He's like, oh, they went to the house.
I need to borrow your car. save Mativa, who's in a tree, pick up my cat friends too.
Which is its own set of problems.
He's trying to close me in the trunk.
On the way back, the car gets a flat tire. The family awakens in the morning to find that the lions and the tigers have gotten into their luggage and they are eating all of it.
These guys are Hakuna Matataing the hell out of all of this stuff.
The family tries to escape by boat. They almost make it, but they run afoul of an elephant who has gone amok. The elephant makes short work of their boat. That elephant just hates that boat.
Yeah. Mom is manhandled by one of the elephants.
A little bit of reverse film photography there. They go back to the house. Meanwhile, Hank is trying to fix that flat, but he just can't do it. He says, we're going to have to go the rest of the way to the house on foot. Here, take this umbrella and confuse the tigers with it so they don't jump on us and tackle us. John tries to escape by dirt bike. So long, suckers! But he is bedeviled by angry elephants and, of course, the omnipresent lions and tigers.
Every second of the movie, someone is thinking, so this is how I die. Every second of this movie.
Hey, where you going, huh? What are you doing? Yeah, could we come along? Little Melanie is pounced on and chewed by one of the great cats.
You're actually taking a tiger by its tail. Mom, I'm just using my sex glands with the lion.
She barely makes it out alive. The family goes upstairs and discovers some barrels. So they get into a little Donkey Kong situation. They crawl into the barrels. The tigers roll them off the roof into the water. An elephant nearly kills everyone. We all know that elephants hate things.
This is actually a movie that we're watching, incidentally. This isn't some crazy improv exercise.
Mom gets a bunch of honey all over her face. She's a honey face. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. Cecil. Look, buddy, you're in the movie. The bad men, Prentice and his buddy with the scar on his face, whenever they see a big cat, they shoot it. It's very sad. Who will stop these bad men? It's Togar. He pounces on them. He kills them. He rips them to shreds. Could have been simulated, maybe not. You never know with this movie. The family has escaped the lions temporarily. They found kind of a shed. We're so exhausted we need to sleep.
The family wakes up and they're surrounded by cats.
This is terrifying and quite cozy.
They're very nice if you're not freaked out.
The family starts to like these cats. Cecil!
The family is surprisingly happy to see Dad, considering what he put them through.
I better go help your mom.
Said way too casually.
He said it like, oh, there's groceries in the car. I better help your mom.
Hey, it's good to see you, dear. Oh, honey, I'm gonna kick you in the balls forever.
The clouds have all gone.
I'm being so comforted right now by this low-rent John Denver.
Here we are in Eden.
You're in Eden, or you're about to get eaten?
Mativa realizes that they're fun and rideable.
What do you think of this life? She's like, I like it. Let's stay.
Oh, you found yourself a girlfriend in Africa, or a boyfriend, looking at that mane.
Jerry's experienced a sexual awakening on many levels.
Roar.
Feel the power of the lion when he roars like thunder. 30 years before Jackass, there was Roar.
And 40-some years before The Revenant, there was Roar.
Yeah. No CGI needed. How do you get actors for this movie? He had to have said, I'm hiring you for this movie. You will be maimed.
The credits go on at length about how we have to save these cats. And so I guess if you're passionate enough about something, you will show up and do your duty.
So this is a message movie, but it also appears to want to be a comedy.
And a thriller.
This goofball music is really mitigating the horror of this scene.
The lines that people say to each other are poorly written comedy lines.
Boy, we got trouble.
Yeah, you guys are smart. You stay out of it.
Look what the cat dragged in.
And it breaks the first rule of slapstick comedy, which is you can hit someone with something as long as the audience knows that they're not actually hurt. In a lot of ways, it seemed to be a documentary, but it's a documentary that teaches you nothing.
It's quite a singular experience. I've never seen a movie, and I never will, where you watch an actor really get injured, and then you watch him really treating that real injury in the scene. It's the whole claws thing, because, I mean, I can't play with Cecil for 5 minutes without getting scratched up, and that these people weren't just covered in blood.
Everyone should have had the same makeup job that Togar had.
And after that first salvo of the cats, where the committee is just in disarray and they're floating off tending their wounded, the first thing that Hank says is,
Listen, I have to go change.
he's got a bloody stump of a hand and he's like, man, I need some fresh clothes.
Imagine seeing this movie in a theater filled with scores of other people. The sound of that theater.
Yeah, I mean, why wasn't this a huge hit?
I don't know.
I think these people deserve Oscars just for an accomplishment.
Special honorary Oscar for survival. Also, the movie does very little with character development.
Yeah.
We understand that there was some sort of breaking apart of the marriage a few years ago. Melanie is a little sass when it comes to sexy things. That Jerry lives in Chicago and John knows how to ride a motorcycle. That's all we know.
We don't want to know a lot of these people's backstories because they appear to be doomed. Which one was your favorite?
The animals?
Well, not the humans.
Yeah. I really liked the actors who were playing the dying cats. They were the best actors in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
You actually felt for them at that point. I don't want to see this happen.
That's the emotional core of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And they spend 90 seconds on it, and then off we go.
I also liked those tigers that kept sinking boats.
Yeah.
They were just so calm and methodical about it. And they'd just sit in the boat, and the boat would sink, and they'd just be like, we're done here.
Final thoughts?
Well, like Hank says in the movie,
It's just like life. You get the funny with the tragic.
amen to that. Well, we've watched Roar, a movie I never knew existed, and a movie that will never be forgotten.
It's going to take me 2 or 3 days just to get rid of this tension headache.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No.
If you feel you're being menaced by nature, crawl into the safe confines of our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all the episodes that we have ever made, and there's a PayPal donation button. You can donate a few dollars to support our show. Donors such as Amy, who says, I am making this donation in the name of my partner, David James Keaton. He is the author of the movie-drenched book, The Last Projector, of which we sent you a copy last year. You did. It's also his birthday in March, so I hope you will give him a shout-out on the show and make it his day, and perhaps his life, complete. Hey, David James, happy birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños a ti. And Alita, who also donated some money for Colin's birthday. Happy birthday, Colin.
Colin. If you want to find out who the rest of our donors are and see the exciting contents of our mailbag, you can watch Welcome to the Basement Unboxing this Friday. Seen it.
Put 'em up. Put 'em up. Seen it.
Recently, Craig and I took our winter vacations. When you live in Wisconsin, by the end of January, you gotta get out and go to some sort of tropical clime. But we took our cameras with us, and so we give to you...
This is Craig, and I am reporting from Hawaii, Costa Rica. In the bushes.
This is Matt in Pahoa, Hawaii.
JCLMENH writes, Lost in Translation.
Seen it.
I think you need to be middle-aged to really understand the subtlety of it. Well, maybe yes, maybe no.
I enjoyed this when I was in my 30s, and that's not quite middle-aged yet.
This might be Bill Murray's greatest performance. In my opinion, he was robbed of the Oscar that year. Sean Penn totally deserved it for Milk, but he did not deserve it for Mystic River, but that's an argument for some other time.
A lot of people accused this movie of cultural insensitivity. They said that the filmmakers were making fun of the Japanese people, Rajamur, things like that. But I thought that it really highlighted the culture shock that the American characters were feeling and that people often feel when they go to a foreign country.
You could say that.
Plus, a lot of the moments, especially when Bill Murray is wrestling with the Japanese prostitute, are very funny.
Here's something for all you 22-year-olds out there. Scarlett Johansson was feeling very lost and aimless in the movie. You don't need to know what you're doing with your life yet at 22.
Everything that Craig just said is correct.
No, don't worry. Just...
Want to take a picture, you guys?
No.
Kevin Sugatan writes, have you nice fellas seen Up in the Air? It was one of the films I watched to help me get out of my comfort level, and I loved it. Seen it. Up in the Air stars George Clooney.
Well, George Clooney's George Clooney.
Yes, he is. And Anna Kendrick.
She's an odd actress because she looks like a normal human being.
You think Anna Kendrick looks like a normal human being? I think she looks like some sort of bizarre elf doll.
Well, she's a really beautiful woman, but she looks so normal that she kind of has to work a little bit harder for like the audience to understand why she's there. It's a weird prejudice that's set into our mind that Hollywood has given us throughout all these years.
I saw this movie in a year when I was doing a lot of air travel, so I could really relate to it, and it contains a lot of helpful tips.
Oh, really?
Like wearing slip-on shoes through security and buying into racial stereotypes.
Huh.
Maybe that's not such a good tip.
Of course, you don't only travel in space, you travel through time, and that's how we get Mike Cronus' suggestion.
Time after time, seen it.
Yes, Mr. Cronus, it's only appropriate that you would like a movie with time in the title. Time After Time is a story of how H.G. Wells, around the turn of the 20th century, invents a time machine, and Jack the Ripper steals it from him. I loved this movie when I was a kid. You have Malcolm McDowell as Wells, and he's always fun to watch. The wonder in Wells going around and like just experiencing modern life. I love the sequence when he goes to McDonald's and he can't figure out what the table's made out of. It's very, very funny.
Now I'm feeling a little stupid here. I thought this movie had Christopher Reeve in it. Isn't there a time travel movie that he's in?
Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah, Mary Steenburgen, yeah, but I'm talking about Christopher Reeve. Forget it.
I don't know if I want to go back and watch this movie again because I loved it so much when I was a kid. I may not like it so much now. That's always a tricky proposition.
Yeah, totally.
When you go back to something you love as a child when you're an adult, it can be very heartbreaking.
So what you're saying is it's a tricky proposition to go back in time?
Oh, hello. I'm in Costa Rica.
Okay, well, Jezza Scamezza writes, would be cool to hear what you guys think about Starman. It's the least John Carpenter film, but still pretty good. Seen it. And standing on this lava flow, it makes me feel like I'm on a distant planet, just like that Starman.
I don't know if I've ever seen this movie in full. I've caught it in bits and pieces on cable throughout the late 1980s.
My mother loves this movie.
For the first few decades of Jeff Bridges' career, he always seemed to play the same character, the affable, charming, handsome guy. But in Starman, he's not playing a realistic person. He's playing someone who's not even a person. He's just some entity from outer space impersonating a human being.
Uh-huh.
It really goes to show how much Jeff Bridges can do as an actor.
Yes, Jeff Bridges gives an amazing performance. It's over the top, but completely believable as an extraterrestrial encountering Earth.
Charles Martin Smith is in that movie.
Charles, what?
And no movie can be all bad if it's got big CMS in it. That's funny because he's a very short man. He's not a big...
Ooh, coming out of that segment gave me a little bit of jet lag.
Yeah.
That's Seen It.
And that's our show.
We watched really isn't the word. We experienced Roar, and we just barely made it out alive.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good time, and we hope you had a good time too. And you know what'll be a really good time for you? If you tune in next time to see the next episode of this show. We'll see you then.
Yes. Ah! Oh yeah.
Oh, blaze up now, man. You survived the movie.
Tippi Hedren, go to Africa.
Melanie Griffith, go to Africa.
All the marshals, they go to... This is not our best.
These stupid lions are frightening me.